let's say Trump runs with J.D. Vance, for example. So he would speak theoretically Wednesday night, and then Trump would go Thursday night. Would the headliners be former Trump cabinet officials, or would it be people that were on his VP short list, you know, Marco Rubio, Rick Grinnell, people like that?
I think you're going to have a great mix. I think that, like I said, we've got in the Republican constellation right now a lot of stars. We feel very comfortable that we can put any of them up, but we also really, truly want to hear from the American people. And so I think that you're going to see not necessarily a typical convention. What you're going to see is a lot of real American voices.
Yeah. Nikki Haley, has she been, have you guys reached out to Nikki Haley?
You know, like I said, we're having a lot of conversations with a lot of different folks right now, and we're pretty excited about what we're going to be able to put on the program.
Just a question. We didn't see anything from George W. Bush in 2016 or certainly 2020, the COVID convention. Has there been any outreach to the only other living Republican former president, George W. Bush? And, you know, Democrats obviously are going to march out. They'll have Jimmy Carter there if they can. And Democrats are famous for, you know, Hillary will be there and Bill Clinton will be there and Barack Obama and Michelle. Has there been any outreach to George W. Bush?
Well, certainly I've reached out to the president. I worked for him in his administration back in the early 2000s. And we will see whether or not he would like to be part of any of this. But, you know, I think that he has taken a fairly hands-off approach since he retired from the presidency and certainly understand where he's coming from there.
Yeah, and you know him well. Would you like to see him have a role in this convention?
Well, we will see. Again, I think the biggest thing that we want to focus on is making sure that this is a platform to put out an American agenda with real American people, with real American voices, to talk about the impact that President Biden's 4 years has had on the average American family. Look, at the end of the day, the convention really comes down to a discussion about our platform and how Republicans and President Trump are going to make America better. And what we're seeing under Joe Biden right now is something we can't take 4 more years of here in America.
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious about the actual scheduling. And this might be, you know, a Ronna McDaniel thing, but it's an odd cycle this year. And to me, it seems like a bad schedule for Republicans. You've got the RNC, followed by, what, 2 weeks of the Olympics, and then Democrats go toward the end of August, meaning they will get the last word, especially if we don't see a second debate between Trump and Biden in late September. How concerned are you about sort of keeping that post-convention momentum going?
I'm not concerned at all, because we have a candidate in Donald Trump who is able to talk directly to the American people, unlike any other candidate we've seen, certainly in my political lifetime, and I've been doing this for over 40 years. You know, you're talking about a candidate who can go to the Bronx and have a rally with 25,000 people, who can have a rally in New Jersey with 107,000 people, who can go around the corner to a bodega and talk with people. He's been to NASCAR races. He's been to Formula One races. He's been to UFC fights. There are absolutely no shortage of events where President Trump is able to go and get out there and talk directly to the American people. So, no, we don't worry about that a bit. I think the key for us is that the American people really are going to vote on a contrast between 4 years under Donald Trump and 4 years under Joe Biden. And the America was stronger and better under President Trump, and that's where we're going to go back this fall.
Mr. Chairman, how concerned are you that your candidate's in jail the week of the convention?
We fully expect that he's going to be in Milwaukee and able to accept his nomination.
Okay, but we talked about this a week ago. You've got a plan for any eventuality. Have you started that process of planning or preparing for the fact that maybe Donald Trump is forced to deliver a speech from someplace like Rikers Island, or maybe pre-record a speech? It's something that you've got to plan for, because no one has any idea what Judge Juan Merchan's going to do in Lower Manhattan on July the 11th.
We will have every contingency covered, but I'm telling you this, we fully expect that he is going to be there in Milwaukee to accept his nomination, and we look forward to it. I think the construction on the arena right now is underway. The last time I was up there last week, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for us to roll out his plan for the next 4 years.
Does the convention still happen if he's not able to attend for whatever reason?
Well, it is going to happen, and we are fully expecting to have him there. And I think that, again, when you look at all of the stars in the Republican constellation right now, we feel like we are a true representation of the American dream, and that's why we're so excited to have everybody together in Milwaukee.